Retirement can be the most exciting time of our lives. Retirement doesn't give you freedom. Designing for retirement does. Everybody needs a plan. But before I get to that, let's talk about what's going to fill your day. Are you going to go have a cup of coffee? Maybe it's Rotary, maybe it's a church, maybe it's a synagogue, maybe it's helping at a kids' camp. Maybe you need to start a new hobby. Do you want to volunteer your time? Do you want to mentor people? Sitting on the front porch in a swing doing nothing. If you're like me, I want to eat at great places. I want to spend a great deal more time with friends and family. I want to enjoy my dog more. I have a boat. I love boating. I'm planning on traveling. I'm planning on doing more of these podcasts because I love it. Because retirement should be all about fun. So if you have the money, you have those choices. If you don't have the money, my suggestion is to do... Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Marty Davis Show. I'm Marty Davis, your host. This is the show that turns stumbling blocks into stepping stones, and we get to the heart of many issues that hopefully you're concerned with. I'm a lawyer, I'm an entrepreneur, I am a connector and a speaker. I have over 43 years of experience advising clients on legal matters, building businesses, and protecting them, and also working towards succession planning and what is their next step. Today's topic, in my mind, we don't talk about enough. As we grow in our businesses or experience our lives, there's another stage that happens. There's that accumulation stage, there's the growth stage, and then there's the spending stage. And that spending stage we also call retirement. We don't talk about it enough because we don't plan for it. And it's so important that we do plan. In talking with my clients about succession planning, what do they do with their businesses when they want to slow down from working or they want to leave work altogether? There's a plan that needs to be put into place for business, but everybody needs a plan for this next stage that we call retirement. Retirement's not like it used to be. People aren't put out to pasture. They're not sitting on the front porch in a swing doing nothing. Retirement can be the most exciting time of our lives if we plan. You know, retirement can be freedom, but we don't have freedom without designing what we need beforehand. The old saying, if you don't plan and you don't know where you're going, it's going to be very hard to get there. And the same story is about retirement, and a retirement that's enjoyable. Let's talk a little bit more about what we can do to plan for retirement. There are so many things that I know I want to do when I retire. I want to travel. I want to eat at great places. I want to spend a great deal more time with friends and family. I want to enjoy my dog more. I have a boat. I love boating. How do I work that into my lifestyle? This all takes planning. And when is that time where we kind of flip the switch, so to speak, to move from an active working life to what we'll call retirement or our next chapter? There's 5 areas that I think you need to consider when you're planning and designing retirement. But before I get to that, let's talk about how we do this design. Are you all familiar with vision boards? You know, I used to use those in college. I used to put on there the girls that I wanted to date and who they look like, and it could have been pictures from yearbooks. I also had some vision boards about the sports I wanted to be involved in, the clubs I wanted to be involved in, and then, to a much lesser extent, what classes I wanted to take. College was all about fun. But it's the same prospect, because retirement should be all about fun and what you're going to do and what legacy you're going to leave. Let's talk about a vision board. Let's put some pictures together, because if we use pictures, it becomes more real, it becomes more concrete. So think about the things that you want to do, and let's find some pictures and put together a vision board. Now let's go back to those 5 things that you need to consider. On our vision board, number 1 is financial. Are we financially able to do what we want to do without working? Is that something that we don't have to work at all? Do we get to work part-time? Do you get to work an hour or 2 a week? Or are you very happy cutting those ties and just having leisure time? So if you have the money, you have those choices. If you don't have the money, you can make your retirement what works for you. Most experts say that you need 75 to 80% of your pre-retirement income to safely do the things you want to do. So don't forget about those pensions if they were available, Social Security that was available, and any other source that you may have coming in to use as income. Second is, okay, we've made the decision, we have enough money. How do we distribute the money we have? What comes out first? Have you talked to your CPA about, do you take money out of your 401k? Do you take it out of your Roth IRA? Do you sell stocks in your portfolio? What is your distribution strategy? Very important because it affects your taxes, and taxes really can cut into the amount of money you can spend. So get with your advisor on doing that. The second part of this is, have you planned and done your estate planning documents? We've had an expert on in one of our podcasts that talks about estate planning, and that the peace of mind that preparing your estate plans, doing your trust, can give you the freedom to no longer worry about taking care of your loved ones, and to then move forward to do what you want to do with your money. After you've considered your financial readiness, then look at what's next in this. Am I mentally ready to retire? When will that happen? Does it have to be gradual, or can we quit work cold turkey? Kind of the same thoughts as what we do with finances. I have been working for 43 years as a lawyer, and my life has changed and my practice has changed through the years. So I'm not as busy as I used to be by design, which has allowed me to do some other things in life. I belong to a Business Network International group. I belong to a Chamber of Commerce. And what's fulfilling for me in that is that I can mentor younger people, new business people, in how to manage their business and thrive. And the joy of seeing them succeed is part of my reward for that, and part that keeps me in touch, keeps me relevant, which are things that are important to me. Those may be important to you. So consider what it means to be relevant and what you need in retirement. And are you mentally able to get up in the morning and not go to work? What's going to fill your day? Are you going to go have a cup of coffee and then enjoy a leisurely day? Or do you need to have activities? Maybe you need to start a new hobby. Maybe you need to expand a hobby that you're already involved with. All of those things can happen if you plan and do that design. So the idea of being ready mentally is as important as it is financially. And always be considering what brings you joy. About 25 years ago, I had been in touch with a business coach. Her name was Jody Johnson. Team Sage is her business here in Coral Gables. And it was really helpful because I was running a very large firm, and what I ended up doing was traveling to our 5 different offices, dealing with human resource questions, problems of operations, which is not really why I went to law school. And it wasn't fulfilling. So I went to her and said, hey, help me out. Her suggestion was, you need to get away from work completely to kind of decide what's important to you, what brings you joy. Her recommendation was a 30-day cruise. I jumped on it. It was great. I had a wonderful time on my 30-day cruise, and I came up with the list of 10 things that brought me the most joy. Quite frankly, I could have done it in a week, but she said 30 days, so I wanted to follow advice. But anyway, I came back with that list of 10 things that made me happy, and then scheduled my life, designed my life around those 10 things. So when I got up in the morning, I knew I was going to do something that I really enjoyed. And that has been my start to retirement, which I'm still in this quasi-retirement stage. I still see clients and I enjoy the clients that I have. So maybe that's something you can do and take to the bank, so to speak. Quite frankly, in my years after changing over, I was making more money than when I had a very large firm and was traveling around doing the things I didn't like to do. Because money will come to you if you're doing the things that you love. That can be all part of retirement. We still can be earning money while we're in retirement and doing the things we love. You know, money goes a lot farther that way. So maybe that 30-day vacation that you didn't think was possible in retirement may be very easy to do if you are doing the things you love, and some of them bring you money. Maybe you'll even want to do a podcast. We have a number of things that I kind of like to say are Marty's tips. That trial month would be the first tip, and we'll talk about that a little later in depth. But, you know, we want to go back to these 5 things that I think are so important in deciding whether you're ready for retirement. You know, we have to consider our physical abilities and health. If you're like me, I can't do all the things I did when I was 30. And, you know, it may be a little disappointing, but we live with it. But am I taking care of myself and doing the things I need to do to live to a ripe old age? My father was 97, so I think I have to take care of myself well enough to make certain that I'm as mobile as possible and as sharp as possible till age at least 97, maybe older. Are you taking care of your health? Are you eating correctly? Are you exercising? Do you have a plan for keeping busy and keeping mobile? You know that the magic number used to be 10,000 steps a day. There's been a recent study out that are saying that between 7,000 and 8,000 steps a day have significant benefits in cardiovascular and overall health, not those 10,000 steps. So it's a little easier, but make certain that you've got a plan to stay mobile, to stay healthy, and making certain that you're doing the right things for your health. Because time is the only thing we can't improve and we can't expand, but we can improve our health and we can improve our mobility. And then the next consideration, this would be number 4, is lifestyle design. I have friends that have sold everything and decided that they're going to travel until they find a place where they'd like to live. And this is their new adventure. They're headed to France, they went to Spain, they're in Portugal right now, and they're enjoying Portugal the most. But that's all personal preference, because you may not be as bold as saying, I want to live overseas. You may be bold enough to say, hey, I want a vacation home, or maybe it's just taking a vacation. So what is that lifestyle going to look like? Do you need the big house that you lived in, that you raised the kids in, or would it be so much easier to have a small condo someplace? Consider all those things. Put them on your vision board and see what they look like, and they'll come true. Lifestyle is not just where you live, it's what you do. Do you want to volunteer your time? Do you want to mentor people, like I do with the chamber that I belong with and my B&I group? It's incredibly rewarding, and there's nothing like showing up at a meeting where people are saying to the other people in the group, wow, Marty really helped me in this situation, or Marty was really great. Marty answered my questions. Marty did that. Marty did that. Probably Marty didn't do it fast enough or he ate too much, but beyond that, it's all good, and it's fun to be at. So consider those groups. Maybe it's Rotary, maybe it's a church, maybe it's a synagogue. maybe it's helping at a kid's camp, or quite frankly, you could be a greeter at Walmart if that's something you enjoy. There are so many opportunities out there to have joy in your life in this next stage. Retirement doesn't give you freedom. Designing for retirement does. So the last thing that I would ask you all to consider in planning for retirement is the idea of legacy or fulfillment. How do you want to be remembered? Do you want to be remembered as a good guy? Do you want to be remembered as a philanthropist? Do you want to be remembered as the person who really lived life and enjoyed every moment? Or do you want to be remembered as, gosh, this is the man or this is the woman who, once they left work, were just lost and sat at home and were lonely? You know, I don't think any of us want to be that latter. I think all of us want to enjoy that time we have together, whether you have excess money to give away, whether you have excess time to mentor others, or whether you want to just do nice things for nice people. Having a plan to do it is great. My dad lived to 97. Every year at Christmas time, he used to go to the Goodwill store, which was about the only place that people with limited means could get a bicycle for their children. He'd go, probably the 22nd or 23rd of December. And what he would do is he would, in advance, buy all the bicycles that they had. They were to leave them just as they were, but when somebody came in and the kid would say, I love this bicycle, he'd be there to tell mom or dad or whoever was with the child, well, it's your bicycle. The joy that gave my dad and the tears that it brings to my eyes is the reward. And it was so great for him and so great for me. Because quite frankly, it taught me a lesson on giving back. And, it's nothing like seeing the child's eyes when they get a toy that they love. We've all experienced that, whether you remember it as a child or you remember it as a gift. So think about the things that you can do that bring joy to your life and the lives of others. There's other things to do too. It's so easy now to write a book. It's so easy to share your thoughts, your life experiences with your family or others. All of us have interesting stories to tell. And it's so important to share those stories. I think I've seen an Instagram that talked about the things that you should ask your father before he passes away. Same questions that you should be asking your mother. Well, make certain that those children of yours have that information. Maybe they didn't get the Instagram that said, make sure you get this information. What was my dad's greatest joy? What was his greatest challenge? What was his favorite thing that he did in high school? What was his best business achievement? If he had to relive one day in his life, what would it be? All of those things bring our families together. And if you don't know those answers, there's a hole. And I think that if we have that information and we share that information, it's great for both parent, child, grandparent, grandchild. So consider that and make that happen in your life. Share your experiences. I am so excited about my future because I'm planning it now. I'm planning on traveling. I'm planning on doing more of these podcasts because I love it. I have a fantastic team that works with me on these podcasts to make it very easy and enjoyable. And I enjoy the people that I'm able to interview. And hopefully our viewers are taking away something of value, something that they didn't know, or simply being entertained. And that's what we're doing here. And that's what I want to share with you, that retirement is an exciting chapter in all of our lives, whether it's coming shortly or a long time away. It's time to start planning now, because you can plan now financially, which makes it so much easier than if you start planning later. Or if you're ready to retire very soon, get that vision board together so we know what we want to do when we're taking that next chapter and pivoting into a lifestyle that by design gives us the freedom to do what we want to do when we want to do it. Hopefully, we're turning stumbling blocks into stepping stones and helping you design that next chapter of your life. So long for now.